Nashville Motor Raceway, the TNN All American 400. I'm Steve Evans, along with Brock Yates, Paul Page, and Bob Seneca leads it. Tim Steele in the second spot. Butch Miller continues to rise to the front, followed by David Green, who's been steady all day, as has Corelli in the fifth spot. The amazing thing is Gary St. Amant in the 10th place stayed on the lead lap, even though he pitted twice. He's got 4 tires, the only one that has that kind of fresh rubber. Brock, call up the second place driver.
Steele, Brock Yates, Diamond P Sports. You copy, over?
I got a copy on you, Brock.
Good job. You're poking your way right up amongst them. You've been there most of the later stages of the race. How's you feeling from here on in?
Well, the car's still pretty good. We're just running a little short on tires right now. I got the guys running around trying to find some tires for us. Other than that, we're all right.
I got a couple on my rental car you can use.
Okay, appreciate that. They might last a little longer than these are right now.
Okay, we wish you the best. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Brock.
Yates, it sounded like you woke him up from a nap.
These guys are pretty cool, I'll tell you, especially on the yellows. As we get ready, though, to get back underway, the green is out.
And Dick Trickle, the red 99 car, has a chance to unlap himself. If he can get around Bob Seneca here. Trickle is back on the lead lap. Now he needs a yellow where he can circle around and tag on the end.
What a good break, a good start for Dick Trickle. You know, Trickle and Seneca are probably the 2 real veterans in ASA short track stock car racing. They know each other.
And look at this. You'd never know Tim Steele, the red 85 car, was short on rubber. As he told Brock on the radio, he is challenging big time Bob Seneca in the 84 car for the lead, and he's got it.
A couple of Michigan drivers going at it here for the lead in Nashville. And boy, they are almost rubbing fenders down into turn number 3. Seneca tucked down, trying to get that low groove, but Tim Steele's got it. Steele is doing a super job. Look at this, as close a racing as we've seen all day long. These 2 professionals doing a great job. Seneca pulled away just a little bit down the front, back straightaway, but then maybe will he get a little bit of an edge here? Yeah, he kind of tucked out in front of Tim there to take that lead back.
He almost got a little bit of Seneca's left rear quarter panel. But now Seneca firmly establishes himself back up front again. The fight is just behind these drivers, and that's going to be for the 3rd position. There we see Butch Miller in 52, 8 David Green just behind him in 4th.
Well, let's not forget, Steve, at this particular stage of the race in years past, we've seen Miller sitting back there around 3rd, 4th, just poking around in there, not paying too much attention. We haven't too much, and then suddenly he's moved up to win it. Now, David Green is being listed here as 4th, but make that by about a foot and a half. He is now 3rd. He may be back and forth again because these 2 guys are having a great race for that position, but right now, David Green has taken over 3rd place from Butch Miller.
And one of the reasons we're seeing such tremendous racing action this late in the event, of course, have been the great pit stop. And there's a little trick some of these guys are using on their wheel that aids in doing that stop a little quicker. Paul told us earlier.
You know, Steve, you can't beat racers for improvising and coming up with great new ideas, even on something as simple as a lug nut. Well, what have they done here? You know, in most racing, when they want to change the tire quickly, they glue the lug nut onto the center of the wheel so that the nuts are there when they put the tire on. Well, here they've come up with a new idea. The lug nuts are all spring-mounted. So there they are, set to go. This also eliminates the possibility of hitting the lug nut with the stud and knocking it off and then having to reach under the car or in your pocket or somewhere else and find an extra lug nut. Pretty good idea. About $140 for 4 wheels.
Dirt Track Modified is doing a very similar thing. Right now, oh, look at this fight for that 2nd spot. Tim Steele, the red 85, David Green, the white number 8, and it is Green establishing himself out front in that 2nd position. Miller is back there in 4th, followed by Hanley, Corelli, Ridley, and Musgrave.
Great bunch of short track stars here fighting it out. As David Green now comes down through here first, and look at Steele and Miller go at it.
I'll tell you, this is why America loves stock car racing. That's what this is.
You know, Steve, so far, though, it's been very close competition, but we've seen very clean driving. Not a lot of flying fiberglass and metal. Guys just doing great work here in very close formation competition.
And as you pointed out, so many of them, oh, and we've got smoke out of the Butch Miller car. Miller has got a left rear tire shredded. Oh, this is going to hurt him, especially where he is out on the racetrack.
Oh, boy, this is a disaster for Butch Miller. If he can recover from this one, it's going to be a miracle.
And that will bring out the caution. He did a lot of drivers a favor with that one, certainly not himself. But a whole bunch of boys are going to be coming in for what should be their very last stop. Some will need fuel only, some will need rubber, some will need both.
He's got a problem in the rear suspension somehow. That left rear wheel is displaced. It's off center. Either something in the carrier, the rear axle, or perhaps the suspension is broken there. But obviously it's serious. And his crew examining it, but not taking. Oh, and they got a flat right rear tire to boot, Steve. So he's got big time problems.
I wonder if this wouldn't go back to when it fell off the jack. He's trying to limp it to the garage area now. You remember, Brock, it fell off the jack at a very hard angle. And here is Seneca in the 84 car. Here's the 8 car of David Green. They're all coming in.
Musgrave in. Going to take on fuel. They're going to change the right side. That's the critical tire side right now. There's Junior Hanley. There is Dick Trickle. Everybody. Although Trickle's going to take on left side rubber.
Now, Musgrave is first out, but that will not put him in the lead. Junior Hanley still having some problems with the 72 car. Gary St. Amant, the number 7 car, did not come into the pits. He didn't need to. You'll remember on that caution that he inadvertently caused himself. He got 4 tires. Oh! And a tire flies right off of Dick Trickle's car.
Well, wait a minute. It bounces safely back into the infield. Uh-oh, back onto the apron again. Trickle's running all right. Apparently, he picked up a tire from somebody else's pit and shoved it out onto the racetrack because it's definitely not one of his tires as one of the crewmen comes along to clear the racetrack. Odd deal, Steve. As you say, it sure looked like he threw a right side tire, but it was not his.
Well, I'll tell you, that was an optical illusion or delusion or whatever. I mean, it absolutely looked like it. And there you can see a little bit of banged up bodywork where Trickle indeed pushed that tire and wheel right out onto the racetrack, kind of like a hockey puck. We'll be back with the closing laps of this incredible event.
We're back at Green in the All American 400 here at Nashville, and Gary St. Amant leads it through a series of bizarre circumstances brought on in some cases by himself. He spun in turn 3, you'll remember, that came in under caution, changed left side tires, then right side tires, and thereby avoided this last flurry of pit stops. He was able to stay on the racetrack, assume the lead, and it now holds it by about a half a car length over Ted Musgrave.
Well, Gary St. Amant never in his career has been under this kind of pressure for this kind of money. He will not have to visit the pits again, neither should any of the other front runners. This is a battle to the checkered flag. St. Amant with Ted Musgrave right behind him. Now, Musgrave's tires are going to be maybe 10% better than St. Amant's.
That's right. He will have a little bit of an advantage, but nonetheless, it's going to be up to St. Amant to lose this. And now, let's go to Paul Page, who's with Gary's dad, Bud, in the pits.
Ted's pushing you pretty hard there. Any real concerns?
No, he's just kind of holding his own there. I think he can hang on there if it goes green all the way.
All right, good luck to you.
So, no apparent concern anyway from Bud St. Amant. I don't know how much Gary's talking on the radio right now. I would say not a whole lot. If there's any talking being done, it would be from the pits to him, because he is a very busy young man with only 10 laps to go, and he owes some of his current success to Butch Miller, the 52 car, who brought out the yellow that enabled St. Amant to take the lead when everybody else pitted. Now, before the green came back out, Brock Yates had a chance to catch up with Butch Miller, the driver of the 52 car, who has won this Nashville 400 the last 2 years in a row, but would not turn the hat trick on this sunny afternoon in Tennessee.
Okay, so crew continues to try to check this. What's exactly happened, Butch?
I went into the corner, and there's a spherical end bearing on the end of our panhard bar, which keeps the rear end centered underneath the car. And unfortunately, that broke and put our Banquet's Food Chevrolet out of the race.
So just move the whole suspension off center so you can't repair it.
Not really. You know, not to have any chance of winning the race,
right.
and that's what we want to do.
Well, we're sorry to see a great show. You're with them all day long, just kind of up and back and up and back, but the race cars seem to be working fairly well.
The race car was excellent. We seem to have, if we could have problems in the pits, we had them. From getting blocked in to have a air wrench brake to one time we tried to cheat and use 2 jacks. They wouldn't buy that.
Good show anyway, as always.
Thank you.
You're out. Sorry, you're out.
Thank you.
Boy, I love that man's enthusiasm and good humor for this business. What we have right now, folks, is 5 laps to go. It may well be a match race between that 7 car of Gary Saint-Amant and the 88 car of Ted Musgrave.
There they are, nose to tail. They've been that way for about 10 laps, and it's going to be a shootout. There's Gary's mom cheering her boy on as they head down the front straightaway. And believe me, Musgrave is all over him now. Musgrave probably trying to set himself up for a pass here in the later stages of this event. The big question is whether or not Gary Saint-Amant can hold him off. Gary, a fine driver out of Ohio, run with ASA for a long period of time. Never won a major race like this, and he holds him off one more time. 3 laps to go as we watch this TNN All American 400 unfold.
Now you can see why Ruth was getting so much air there in the pits, jumping up and down. She saw her little baby boy, all 31 years old of him, suddenly just dip out a couple of car lengths ahead of Musgrave. And now she sees that he's holding that advantage. It is time to be happy, Mom.
It sure is. See, now, though, Musgrave moves right in on him in turn number 2. Almost a half a car length, and now, though, Saint-Amant moves up and takes about another full car length down the straightaway.
This would be the biggest win of Gary Saint-Amant's crew. His mom, his dad, all of their friends, a lot of volunteers there with their fingers crossed. Nobody's breathing as they go on to the last lap. Behind him, Ted Musgrave, far more experience, a man who has won close to $300,000 in short track racing.
They weave their way through some slower lap traffic. These 2 Chevrolets from the ASA. Gary Saint-Amant coming off turn number 4. Can he hold him off? The winner. Saint-Amant wins it by a car length.
Just an incredible finish with a bizarre twist they'll be talking about for years and years to come. That yellow flag that he himself caused. Nobody could be inventive enough or clever enough to execute something like that on purpose. At least I don't think so. Anyway, it enabled him to get 4 tires, and that was the difference between himself and Ted Musgrave. Stick with us. We'll talk to him. So the 10th annual TNN All American 400 is history. Gary Saint-Amant, his biggest win ever in his career in the number 7 car. Musgrave, well, came up a car length short. Seneca, Ridley, and David Green put on a great show all afternoon, as did Junior Hanley. Started on the pole, but just couldn't handle it. Steele, Corelli, Hansen, and Erlin round out the top 10. Let's go to Brock right now with what's got to be a happy winner.
Uh-oh. All right, he's going to get a little celebration here. All right. Okay. Gary. Is that a happy man or what? Congratulations. Great show, Gary.
Thank you, Brock.
You had Musgrave all over you for the last 25 or 30 laps. Did you figure you could hold him off?
Oh, I tell you what, I didn't know. I knew we were on new tires. I knew he was on new tires. Everybody else had to pit and get tires, and oh boy, I don't know if I want anybody else behind me. Anybody but Teddy, but oh, we held him off. We held him off.
Where was the turning point in the race for you?
Believe it or not, I think when we blew the left rear tire and we spun out, that put us out of sequence with everybody else. We knew we had a good set of tires on. We decided to stay with what we had.
I'll tell you what, there were a bunch of guys praying for yellow at the end.
Oh, yeah. We weren't
You
one.
were not.
That's it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Brock.
Super show. Gary Saint-Amant. Great victory. Paul?
And here's Ted Musgrave climbing out of the car. Ted, you gave these fans something to talk about. You made a valiant effort there at the end.
Well, Gary had that thing just perfect, and we had a little loose. I don't know if it was a stagger or if I just run the wheels off the back, but I got to hand it to him. I tried everything I could and pressured him, and he just hung in there. And as you can hear, he's a good guy.
There was a point there, though, you were up helping him quite a bit. Did you think you had a real shot at getting around him at any time?
Well, he was a little underpowered down the straightaway, which helped him get off the corner. So when I got on the gas, I'd spin the wheels and he'd take off. But I could catch him going in, but like I say, he just had a little bit more than me off the corner.
Valiant effort. Comes up second, though, Ted Musgrave. Let's go back to Brock.
Thanks, Paul. And Steve, once again, turn 3 determined the outcome of the TNN All American 400.
But strangely, it was the car spinning in 3 that won the event. For Brock Yates and Paul Page, I'm Steve Evans. Thanks for joining us.
The executive producer for American Sports Cavalcade is Harvey M. Palish. Produced and directed by John B. Mullen.